We're going to talk about latest with the product and also where the product is going, and of course answer your questions and talk about what we can all do together. I guess that's the point of the community stand-up. So I will let Jonathan share his screen and take us through the wild automate.
Thank you for organizing our chaos, Sender, as ever. It's always much appreciated. So yeah, I'll repeat what Sender said. Extreme thanks for everyone turning up. If you've not been to community stand-up before, it's been through several phases. Usually lots of them have been chaotic. Oh, okay. So I am here and very pleased to welcome Chuck. 12 months ago, he presented live at the last August community stand-up, and we very much enjoyed it. He was playing second fiddle to a Power BI presentation, I think. But we very much appreciated learning all about NodePen at the time. Hey, Chuck.
Hello.
Well, big fan of naps. So originally I said, tell me something about you that I do not know, but I think I already knew that you're a fan of naps.
So everyone should know I have about 3 different versions of this one, and the last comment I got from Jonathan was this did not follow the prompt, but I could not find the prompt. So it's good to know you wanted to learn something about me. This is where we ended up.
So if you don't know, yeah, exactly. So if you don't know me, I work with the growth team, and it's our job to tell you how to use Speckle, how to love Speckle, and everything there is to try and get you successful. One of the things I've been delighted to happen in the last couple of months is that Chuck has joined the team that is kind of shaping the future of what Automate is. I should not go unrecognized that Ian, Gergu, and Fabians and Dimitri put so much sweat and tears into Automate, and I do feel that they get underrepresented here. So big applause to them. But we're talking about the future, but I wanted to bring, first of all, everyone up to speed exactly where Automate fits in as part of the Speckle journey. If anyone's joined us who is not currently a Speckle user, it's fair to say that it's pretty easy to get you started with Speckle. You download Speckle connector into the host application of your choice and your delight, press publish, it ends up in the Speckleverse, and from at that point, any number of applications and devices can consume that data from the web application, other host applications that we have connectors for, or anything in between that you craft yourself. In that context, Automate is another consumer of Speckle data. So data inside the Speckleverse is open to you and all the cases that you can put to it. But sometimes that computational burden of responding to events and quickly, let's say, prototyping something to make use of that data is not so straightforward. So Automate is designed to make a lot of that easier. Every single time that data enters the Speckleverse, effectively, it will trigger something happening, and that something happening is up to you. We have a library of functions that we hope very much that the wider Speckle world will continue contributing to. We have some speculative ideas of our own. And what this means that because it's responding to every time that you're sending to Speckle, every time you're publishing data, you can rely then on the same activity happening over and over and again, which what that means is that you can rely on the infrastructure, you can rely on the data to be consistent and repeatable. What that definitely brings to mind is a lot of things that you don't want to spend time doing a lot of repeating about. In this instance, we've got two examples that we shared almost 12 months ago at last SpeckleCon, whether that's a CFD analysis or in this case, some data quality assurance. One of them is on the interesting end, one of them is on the boring but important end. And at last SpeckleCon, we announced the launch of the closed beta of Speckle Automate. Some of those 500 applicants arrived, or in fact, many of the 500 applicants arrived within hours of the announcement, some before the keynote had finished. And I see you there, David. I think you were possibly registrant number 0. So thanks for that. You win. We managed to get through a phase of whitelisting as many as we could. We did pay attention to what people's use cases were. And this is a kind of a summary of our, we've spoken to almost all of you, or several of you. We've certainly invited all of you to speak to us, and what we wanted to learn from that. Did I see a hands up? No. So what did you like about the closed beta of Speckle Automate? You were very interested. That was good, always good. And I think one of the valuable insights or valuable feedback that we got was exactly how fun it was to use, or at least how easy it was to use and sort of pick up. We're going to come on to whether that completely fulfilled what people were expecting. But the delight we put into creating a developer experience that was delightful seemed to pay off and seemed to be appreciated. You've also told us that there were some things that didn't quite hit what you were expecting, and some of that was around the messaging and the positioning that we put behind Automate. So, as I say, we put a lot of effort into the developer experience, but a lot of people thought, well, we actually need this in our lives. We need to automate away the boring stuff or the important stuff. We need to click less and build more. It wasn't quite ready for the non-developer part of our Speckle audience. This is something that we definitely have been working on and continue to work on moving forward. Particularly looking in the future of how we, and this is something we're addressing across the board with Speckle, how we can better support you on your journey from day 0 with Speckle and also day 0 with Speckle Automate. One of the things that's changed since the closed beta ended was that we just opened the doors. And even though some people are still signing up to get onto the closed beta, actually all you need to do is sign up to latest.speckle.systems. That's our development server. And you can start using an account there on data that you upload to that server. So caveat on our development server and latest.speckle.systems is that the data is not guaranteed to be there forever. It's where we push all of our latest and greatest and potentially breaking changes straight away, but Automate is free to use and able to be used today. Also, since the closed beta, the other thing that we've done, if you've been following all of the updates to the front end of Speckle web app, it's become very beautiful. And so Automate has definitely joined that family of beautiful integrations. So following from your projects, automations definitely sit in the context of that. So everything that you see on latest.speckle.systems will be making its way into the main application when we're ready. So what you have here is the function library, all the automations, all of the things that are kind of key to having a good insight into what's going on with your automation. It's all integrated fully into your Speckle life. Speaking of the functions, all of the functions remain for the time being open source and openly interrogatable, easily configured, and everything being all part of that beautiful, joyous experience of creating new automations. The results of automations, as results of analysis, are all integrated definitely into the web application as well as a continued delightful experience. We're going to be looking a little bit more on that. Charles, have you got anything to share on that? Not today, okay. The reason why this is incredibly interesting is because some other parts of Speckle are also working on making things new and shiny and beautiful. and potentially the results of automation can also be consumed outside of the main web application. So more on that in the future. But ultimately, what Automate allows you to do is get the results of any analysis and any automation runs from whatever device that you have. It's no longer automation is no longer pinned to one machine in the basement owned by someone who's gone on holiday, but effectively you can deploy and distribute your expertise across your entire team. We haven't forgotten the developer experience that we started with, and it continues to be easy to use, all in the one environment. One thing that's added since the end of the closed beta, based on feedback and also our own learnings and wishes, is a sandbox testing environment. So effectively, you can do infinite local testing and push it to a dead project automation that gives you full access to automate via from your command line or from any of the SDKs that you're using. Whistle stop tour through what has changed, or at least what is the current status quo. So I'm going to show you 3 examples that I've built since the closed beta. Basically, I think I was given the mantle at SpeckleCon last year by Dimitri. He said, your job is to do the boring but important stuff. So on that continued theme, I've been dedicating my life to the boring but important. One of the things that definitely is part of our watchword on making things as easy as possible for Speckle users to get going is the use of Power BI has been eye-opening for many people. They've come to Speckle specifically for Power BI to get their AEC data into Power BI. The function here, Speckle Power Pivot for Revit, makes that even easier. So Bilal, who's on the call, he's put some excellent tutorials together to really bring people up to speed of how you wrestle a data format that's Speckle into something that Power BI is expecting, so that you can out of the gate get some good insights. That is actually quite a struggle if all you've done is downloaded Power BI and hoped to start building some dashboards. What Speckle Power Pivot does is takes Revit data that you've pushed to Speckle, that triggers the automation, and automatically it will put it into a format that is completely ready for Power BI. So it's doing all of the instances and type joining. It's making all the parameters readable and first class. And the other thing it's going to do for you is, which has been a struggle for Power BI users, is that where windows and doors and sanitary ware are all hosted on different elements, when you tried filtering them, these things were left behind. So now you can get a perfect slicer experience inside Power BI. From the community side of things, we get many requests for file formats. Why don't you support OBJ export? Why don't you support .bim export? Why don't you support GLTF export? And it's easy to do, but it isn't necessarily something that everybody needs. So Automate is definitely an opportunity to do that as well. So in response to every time data being uploaded, it can automatically produce a GLTF file inside the browser. And that's a downloadable file. From a building perspective, I'm not sure of the particular usefulness on this, but if you're producing as part of a team who have a rendering team or something like that is expecting a kind of a throughput of assets, you can partition your scheme up into the components that will go into their pipeline for visual production. And definitely that can also be automated. The last thing that I'm going to show here is that we've also built, and this is ready. The whole point of these 3 demos, they're ready to go. You can start in kind of using them straight away. This is a Google Sheets powered data validation, sort of a poor man's IDS. IDS is designed and has been ratified now at version 1 to be the official open BIM building smart standard of defining rules for checking your data, or defining your data requirements. But lots of us aren't using IFC. Lots of us actually want to start validating our data directly. So by defining rules external to code, this allows your entire team to be defining what information they want to do and what information they want to check. Our function that you can start using, it reinterprets that spreadsheet and reinterprets all of those rules, turns it into code, and then turns it into something that the function is then going to be consuming, which allows you to sort of, let's say, real time, you change a rule and you push new data, and effectively you get a kind of an instant response, an instant result of your current validation state. On that note, if you have been following Speckle, then you'll know that we had our hackathon in, gosh, time flies, it was in May, beginning of June. And one of the winners for most innovative use of Automate was actually won by the team, the Maple team. And we're very delighted that the Maple team, I'm just looking through the sea of faces. Hi there. Would you like to
Hi.
tell us about Maple?
Hey there.
Hi all. Yeah, thank you, Jonathan, for maybe we will quickly share. So first of all, I'm really happy to be here. I love you guys. Like, your energy is so great, and it's just so contagious. Like, I can hear from Berlin. And really great to hear what are the updates and the boring stuff that we are automating. As today we are with Maple, we'd like to also show you our use case of Automate, and also give a bit of us. So yeah, hi, my name is Gisem, and together with Andres, today we will show our Maple project.
So we're a bit also on the boring but important side, and also extra boring. So we propose that you write your test specifications, or let's say the rules that you want to check your model with, as code. So we wrote this Maple library, Maple spec. It's open source, it's on Python. And with this, you can use these methods to like query and filter and assert the things that you expect your model to be. And then once you've done that, you can run them locally just to see, okay, does my test spec work? Is this getting the correct doors, for example, checking that their height is supposed to be a certain value, and it will tell you your elements are passing. And this can not only check IFC, it tests anything that is on Speckle, so any property or also any parameter that is inside the Speckle object. And once we've done this, then we can now integrate it inside of an automate function. Back to you, Gisem.
Yeah, so we write our tests with using Maple spec. And so what is next? Of course, we need to automate those, right? Yes, we are now using the automate function. I think there's like something resolution problem, but yeah, it's now coming. Yes, so we write this test cases. We debug them in our locally. And the next step is, of course, get information every time that when there is like a model change, right? So we are using GitHub to load into our Maple CI automate function. And here, as you see in the input field, and we are getting the results in every time when there is an update. So here it's just like gives you saying like all tests are passed. In this way, we will get notified every time, yeah, new version coming and what are failed in our test specs that we've written before.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully this way, you write many GitHub gists for your tests, but you use the same function, and you just have to change this GitHub gist file, and it will just be picked up by the function and give you your results there. We
So,
would like to continue developing Maple like to be open source and add more features to the library, and also related to our automate function to keep it to be a part of the whole ecosystem of automate functions. Hopefully that you will find it useful. And we have also some ideas how we would like to in the future write specs. We know it's kind of heavy on code, but hopefully with a better platform where you write this, you will find that it's more easy to write and debug your specs and then put them to use inside Speckle Automate. And this way, check your model. This is just like a small idea of how we imagine the future that you can debug this here and then directly send them to the Speckle Automate functions. But this is just something we have as our vision for the future. Always tied up to connecting to Speckle Automate to run it automatically when the model changes.
Yeah, exactly. For our next steps, the previously what you see with the Maple CI was the version what we get the price also from Speckleverse. And then meanwhile, we were talking how we can improve this in the stage in terms of Maple Spec, also Maple CI. We come up with the idea of, okay, how we can make it more easier to write in tests and debugging the tests, because somehow you are separated from the platform itself where the 3D model is located. And with the interaction of 3D model here and the code editor inside your browser, so basically it becomes easier what you write and how you write. This is so far our imagine with the Maple using, of course, automate function, sending at the end together with all functions for our models that's created will be automated. And yeah, this is it. Thank you so much.
Amazing. So you mentioned that it's open source. You and Andre working together. Were you already colleagues before the hackathon, or did you come together as part of the hackathon?
Yes, we studied together, and we were knowing each other a long time.
Excellent. Are you being open source? Are you looking for contributors?
Always. It's open.
Always.
There are issues, and we know it's easy to reach us and start to talk about it. Hopefully, more contributors will come.
Excellent. So we've got, I think, some 80 people on the call, including some specklers. So if any of you are motivated to try and help the Team Maple moving forward, I think what Automate offers is the ability to not necessarily contribute to Speckle the whole, but you can definitely contribute to extending the capabilities of Speckle for everybody. And open source is definitely part of that spirit. You've had a chance to work with the Maple team, Chuck, a little bit on where we're looking to take Automate itself. Am I still sharing? I think I am. What are your what are you looking for? Similar kind of contributions? What do you hope to see for people adopting Speckle Automate?
Yes, I think I'm in love. I want nothing but success for you too. I was immediately excited when I saw what you were making at the hackathon, and I can't really describe how cool it is to see you continuing and where things are heading. This is exciting. Everyone here should be excited too. Yeah.
Excellent.
Check out the project.
So we announced as part of the announcement of this event that we would be giving you some glimpses into the future. And the immediate future is that we're going to be telling you all about the Automate public beta at SpeckleCon in November. No, that's a bit of a cheat, where we will be launching the public beta of Automate at SpeckleCon, so please do join us. It will be in London in person. It would also be recorded. But in the meantime, we do have some plans that we are pretty sure are going to be in the public beta. And this is a lot of it as response to things that we were asked several times or many times on some things that are our own personal wish list. In no particular order, there's the things on the screen. I don't have any sort of long diatribe or exposition on any one of them. Actually, I don't know what the Gremlin cage is, but I included it because it was on the ticket. One of the things that I can confirm is that Speckle Automate will remain free to use on Speckle data. And one of the things that we will hopefully change for the public beta is that it will move onto app.speckle.systems. So you'll be able to start using Automate against your live business data. Is that a good understanding, would you say, Chuck? Anything you want to add there?
No, I think that you may need to reshare the list, though, or I've missed. Is it just me?
I can see the list. I mean,
Okay, then I'll pretend I said nothing, and it's just thumbs up. Yeah, it's I see the list somewhere else. It's a exciting list of things we're excited about for sure.
And I can still see the blood is still in Gogu's face, so I haven't revealed anything that is out of place here. Excellent. Another thing, yeah, exactly. Another thing that we are launching as part of Speckle Automate, but also more generally, many of you come to us saying we would quite like to know how to do more than just Speckle for free, and interested in either Teams plans or enterprise plans. And one of the things that we're starting to do more widely is help give you a kickstart and help you work towards being successful sooner. So if you are interested, then this is something we're doing particularly in the realm of Automate, because it allows us to exercise our development assistance without having to customize the whole Speckle application. So if you've got a really strong idea of how you want your organization to build automation moving forward using Speckle, come speak to us, myself and Moritz, and we will definitely like to have a conversation with you. This is where really Chuck gets to shine, I think, because this is where I really exhaust my knowledge of Speckle 1.0. So public beta is one thing. At some point, it will be a product. It will be something that will be a fully featured application that people will want to use and kind of desperate to use. But we don't really know what it is yet. We have some further ideas. These are kind of flashing on the screen. Again, these are just from whatever the roadmap said. Well, not even the roadmap, the speculative roadmap. But in the world of speculation, this is where we were so happy that Chuck would join the team with his boundless energy and enthusiasm for automation, and not only that, Grasshopper on the web. Really, we're at the point where you can tell us. This is the whole point of the community stand-up, that we're hoping that you're going to have a conversation here. But I'm going to flag this now. Do we want to Dick, do you want to chime in?
Yes, of course. Very interesting again. I wasn't there the last time, but happy to see the progress. I was wondering, related to the reporting part of the automation, so you're able to actually provide documents directly into your Speckle model, which got my wheels turning. So is it also possible to make references, let's say, to a cloud folder? Let's say I want to analyze which files of SharePoint are matching with my documents, and so I make a dynamic list there on the upload of my stream, clickable to the references that is there. Is this something that would be doable?
Absolutely. So Automate is very permissive. It's permissive in both what the language is that you can write functions to do, but it's also not particularly strict in the sandbox. So if you've got authentication to an SDK or an API, you can both make calls for your automation to run, but also to basically publish data anywhere. Again, this is down to the permissions you have with various any other cloud services.
Okay, and so the report wouldn't restrict to be having to be a file. It can also be just a reference in this case.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
We should talk more. I'll find you.
You can always find me on the community, but usually it takes either 2 months for me to respond or 5 minutes. So this is the time frame sometimes.
Okay. I'll show off. Okay. Good warning.
So
can I steal the screen?
This is, yes. Well, I'll be your glamorous assistant if you tell me what you need to.
Okay, we'll have a little tapping noise. It's as Jonathan has said, I've entered Speckle only a few months ago. The rest of the team has done a fantastic job of creating automation as it stands today. A foundation, a technical foundation that can do everything that we've described and more. Jonathan was able to spend his weekend and more making the demos that you were just being presented with in the functions a few minutes ago. But in the time since then, we've had a few reactions to what exactly we're presenting to you, what exactly it should be, and have found that there's like a few fuzzy or rough spots around like why this is useful to you and why you should use it. It's been a really fun experience to learn about Automate, know the kind of things it can do, and like just what happened. Can we do X? It's like yes, but you have to find it. You have to dig for it. Right? Not everyone can be Jonathan. And so yeah, like caveat aside, the team has made something incredible. We're starting to look forward to how we want to present what Automate can do to you in a slightly different way. Right? We have a lot of different things people want to do. And I think that our current thinking is to try to present these things much more immediately as actionable to you. Right? If you know you want to make a test, we want to present you with a way to just start configuring and making that test. If you know you want to do some sort of report or output or analysis, we want to present you with a way to just like immediately say, I want to do that, and this is what I want it to look like. Right? Where today all of these things are possible through developing a function, we have the power, we have the ability to present these in a slightly different way. Like maybe something that's visual, maybe something that's like programmable sort of language, right? Maybe some kind of like visual programming language of sorts. And so starting with Jonathan's original sketch here in the top left, I want to step through a kind of a vision of what we want this to look like. Jonathan, can you step just one forward? So say I have like a task that I want to automate and some data that I want to work with. I already have things running through my Speckle colored pipes, my Speckle projects and models and whatnot. And I want something to happen every time I push changes to a certain model. It should be easy and straightforward to say this is the kind of thing that should kick things off. And then after that, if I want to test a certain thing, if I want to run a certain analysis, you can with functions today do that. But we're starting to think that maybe functions are not like the most immediately obvious tool or metaphor for what you want to do. If you know you want to make a test, you should be able to press a button that says, I want to make a test. So Jonathan, can you step forward, please? So imagine that looks something like this. Right? You ask for a test, you're presented with a little box that says, okay, tell me about that test. And under the hood, if this is a function, if this is Maple, which I expect it to be, this is not immediately your concern, right? You should be able to work with your data, ask questions of it, and say, Jonathan, can you step one more, please? I would like to make sure that every Speckle window-based object has this property of this value. Right. This should be 2 seconds. This should be something that you're presented with, and this is the kind of work that people are asking to do quite a bit. And again, you could make with a function. You could sit down. You could pick Python or C#. You could deploy it. You could maintain it, or you could just do this. Right. And so this is kind of, in summary, that is the goal of this next bout of work, is to lower the barrier of entry between you using this and seeing the value. Jonathan, can you just like skip forward to the last slide? Right, I'm just going to kind of hand wave through all of this, right? But that's the triggers, that's the kind of actions and things you can do. And then the last question, of course, is like, how do I output that? Can I make sure that all of my tests pass? Can I make sure that this test, which is more fuzzy, is at least 95%? can I ask my automations that generate some sort of report or analysis, can I tell it exactly where to send that? If it's 3D data, can it be pushed to a model? If it's a report or some external, I believe SharePoint is what was just mentioned, I should be able to visually just like know what's available to me and make that happen. Right, and so this is where our thinking is at, but this is also, this is mostly Figma. It was fun to talk about it as if it was real. But the reason I wanted to put this in front of you here today is because there's a whole lot of distance between where we are now and whatever this ends up being for real. There's a mountain of decisions to make, things to prioritize. But what we're going to try to do a little bit differently this time around is we'd like to be making this with you as you're using it. We'd like to put this in front of you, talk to you about it wherever it stands. And if, say, someone like we were just speaking to said, I want to make sure I can output my report as a link of some sort, we have the power, we have the ability, we want to make that real for you in a much faster time cycle than, say, waiting until SpeckleCon or waiting until the next release. For me, it's really important that we hear from you. I want to do this. And that's what I'm hoping to fish from you today. So if any part of what I said was exciting to you or disgusting to you, or we got it totally wrong, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, hey, I would totally use this, but it would have to be slightly different, I'm dropping a link in the chat, and there will be a link posted on the forum as well. Book a time slot with us, book a time slot with me. We will talk about it, and I will put this in front of you, and you can start using it immediately. The louder you scream about needing Rhino compute so you can run your Grasshopper scripts on the web, the sooner it will happen. I'm looking forward to speaking with you all. We've already spoken to a few of you that kind of formed this first proto version. I hope that we got close to what you guys are excited about and would want to use. But this will be on forever. Please come talk. But yeah, I'm excited. So we want this to convert people.
And we're all excited that you're excited too. So really, this is the point of this whole event. We already knew all of this, but we wanted and we're excited to share that more widely. So really, I think I can see, and Sender's going to continue helping me with this.
Yeah.
Emil.
There's one hand raiser.
Yeah, Emil.
Yep. Hi there. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Emil. I work in reality capture, actually, in 3D scanning. And I wanted to ask the community here if they've seen ways in which the sometimes more manual process of tagging and maybe even the way in which surfaces are tagged or objects from the scanning stage to the development stage in architecture have been seen using, I'm using Matterport, let's say, Matterport plus Speckle, like something that the classic BIM software is not allowing to use it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if I'm not wrong, not all the biggest BIM software actually allows you to import directly some types of scans, of 3D scans. And I would like to know if any of you have seen something where the fact that Speckle is open source and it is more open and more flexible might fit that gap and be a very good use case for. This would be my question.
To the floor, to everyone.
Open to anyone. Open to anyone.
Yeah, sorry, it's open to anyone. It's my first time when I participate to a Speckle meeting. I've seen it, I guess, a year ago or something like that. And since then, I started to read, even the AAC magazine. And honestly, I've seen in this issue, I actually have seen. I've read an article from one of the best AAC software developers about the fact that the BIM 2.0 would actually be more about automation than AI. And
Emil, what is really your use case for tagging the surface? Is it the scan to BIM use case? So converting these scans to actual geometry, or do you want to be able to filter surfaces directly into, let's say, the native modeling software? What is the use case here?
I'm thinking about use cases where, I don't know, I could work or on something like dashboards, which would be more user-friendly and more easier to understand by, let's say, the board of a company, which does not know BIM or does not know all the technical details or the geometries there, or how to handle those. They will just need something that's more custom, more bespoke, built exactly for that purpose. Something like, I don't know, maybe a factory, maybe an entire real estate area or something that's a place. So I'm thinking about something that makes the difference between the classic BIM software and Speckle, and the way in which this would be like fit for purpose, if I can say so,
Yeah, it
Hello.
sounds to be more or less than of an asset management.
Can I answer the question, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Prashant.
Yeah. Actually, I have tried what you are want to do. I have tried using Blender BIM, and you can take that file in a Collada format in Blender BIM, as well as there is one Pottery, one software which is available on GitHub, which is Pottery. So you can take that point cloud data in Pottery, and you can have that link in the dashboard. So you can click on the link in the dashboard and you can show the point cloud in the Pottery format. And similarly, at the same time, you can open the Speckle in the same link. So I have tried doing that. If you, I can share you, if you follow me, I will text my email. So if you want any help, we can collaborate on the same project. I will text my email. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm both of you. Feel free to open the conversation up on speckle.community, where we like to have these conversations, because then you'll have everybody contributing, because not everyone is freely sharing or able to attend this event, but we do get a great exchange of ideas over community. Thank you.
Thank you for answers.
On the broader theme of AI or automation, Speckle, we think, is equipping everybody for both. Essentially, our mission is to have all of your data externalized from host applications, no matter which they are. So effectively, that's part of leveraging whether you can do your insights and your machine learning based on your institutional knowledge, or to trigger and basically allow for automation to happen external to that software. And obviously, you can then consume it into host software around the back again. It does require a bit of a, not necessarily level playing field. It does require more stakeholders to be in the spirit of sharing, in the spirit of being able to enable their data not to be tied into files, and definitely exchange with Speckle. So it was a great question. Thank you, Emil. Any other questions about life, the universe, and everything? Automate, maybe?
Automate.
David, you're usually good for a question.
I don't have any questions. This has been great. It's good to see more people here. Definitely really would like to keep playing with just some of the development cycle here. So looking forward to getting more on and talking more with people about the environment here. No questions.
Okay, that's fair.
I think an important link here is Chuck's calendar. We can reshare it, just making sure that you guys can reach out to him. He's extremely eager to talk to more Automate lovers and shape the product together. We, as mentioned, will be hosting the next conference, SpeckleCon, in London in November. We're also opening a call for proposals. So if any of you is interested to present at the conference. Let me pin this again because we did have a pinning issue earlier. Apologies. Oh, of course, yes. We will be hosting SpeckleCon, but also our next community stand-up will be a collaboration with the Stikke team, based in Copenhagen. I think Davide is on the call, but I'm not sure. But if he's here, oh, he's here. We're happy to see you again. And yeah, I don't know if you want to give a few words on what's going to happen in September.
Sure. I guess we'll present what we've been working on. We've been collaborating a lot with Speckle and using not all of, yes, but a lot of sides of what the team has been developing in Speckle. So
Excellent.
the API, the front-end API, and basically hosting our own server. And now we're looking into automate to of course, automate a lot of processes that we're doing in-house. So yeah.
Thanks, Davide. I know we literally agreed about this morning, so I appreciate you.
I wasn't really prepared.
Putting you on the spot. But yeah, we're excited about this. It's going to be the first kind of co-host community stand-up that we have with someone from the community. And yeah, we will be sharing more about this soon. And until then, we hope to see you in the forum, on social, or anywhere you think you can find us.